Monday afternoon, and welcome to the hottest show in the galaxy. It's the Karen Hunter Show right here on Sirius XM. Welcome. Today is Monday, May 7th, 2018, and yeah, we got a hot show. It's a hot show for you. Let me say hello, though. Let me give thanks to the people in the room. Hello there, Smiz. What's going on? Jameson, what's happening? Stephanie, Truth in the Universe. Cousin Sill's here today, too. We're going to talk with her a little bit later, but we're going to start off the show differently. You know, normally we're going to talk about Childish Gambino. This is America. I actually want to talk a little bit about Infinity Wars today. Yes, I was disturbed. I watched it yesterday. We're going to get into a little bit of that. Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote a piece on Kanye that I'm going to dissect. John McCain doesn't want Trump to come to his funeral. I'm not mad at him. We're going to talk about that later. But when you have an opportunity for some healing really early on a Monday, after the year we've been having, and you get a call and you're able to bring somebody into the studio to have a conversation about where we need to be as human beings, first and foremost, you take that opportunity and you take it with humility, and you are grateful that this woman is on this earth to do the work that she's doing. She's going around fixing people. So I figured, I need some fixing. Let me welcome to the show. I don't even want to give all her accolades. Well, I don't need to. I'm just going to say, without further ado, Miss Iyanla Vanzant. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show.
Thank you. It's been a while getting here. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, you did do a drive-by call-in one day,
know, right?
And I was like, okay, this is nice, and the phone was shaky at some points, but, it was like, oh, my God, Iyanla Vanzant is calling up the show. This is ridiculous. And, I actually first discovered you as a writer. Mm-hmm. One of my many valleys, you try to fix yourself. So you go get a bunch of, self-help books. You may get some Watchman Nee or some, whoever's out there at the time helping you. And
Watchman Nee, that's not, you got to really be serious to go with Watchman.
Well, you want to be fixed. It's not a superficial journey. This is something deep. So, and you were on my reading list, and to see your transparency and the things that you went through to get to where you are, kind of helps, to know that you're not alone in the world. So I discovered you as a writer. Yeah. And now you're going out with this Fix My Life franchise on OWN, where every week you're going in to a bunch of people's lives. So I just want to thank you for your service, because it is that. Not many people would sign up to do the things that you're doing. And while some of it makes good TV, is what we don't see where the impact is actually happening.
Yeah. And nowadays, that's how people are educating themselves, on the internet and on the television. That's how they're learning character and career skills. And so I want to put something else out there.
I want to throw some topics at you.
Okay, let's throw some topics.
I keep telling people we're in a particular time in history. Mm-hmm. We have a president that I don't know whether he represents.
Do we have a president?
Do we have a president, Iyanla Vanzant?
I don't have a president.
You don't have a president?
I do not. I know that there's an occupant in the White House, but that doesn't have anything to do with me. There's a occupant living in public housing.
It's a welfare king, basically.
There's an occupant in the White House. We do not have a president in this country. Absolutely.
50 million people plus voted for him, though.
Well, yeah. But you know what? It's not just being in the office. It's also being able to not being in the office, but also carrying the office and standing for the office, standing as a demonstration of what the office represents. And the office represents the people. So
some would argue Trump was democratically elected based on an electoral college process.
And lost the popular vote.
Right. But so did Bush.
Yeah.
Right? So this happened before. We've been here before.
He was an occupant, too. Well, let me say this. If I were to say, I don't think we have a president. But what I do think is that we have a glaring, purposeful example and demonstration of American consciousness. I think the occupant of the White House is showing us who we are, and showing us so glaringly, and we're still in denial. We're still making it about him. We're still looking at what he did and how he did. And I shared with you, I said, when I look at him, I just say, there but for the grace of God go I. Because everything he's done, everything he does, I've done. I've lied. I've changed my story midstream. I tried to get people on my side to be against your side. I did it. I did it in my life. I did it in my work. I did it in my relationships. He is showing us who we are and what we do. And instead of us saying, oh my God, let me heal myself, we're making it about him. So to me, he's not a president, but he is a glowing demonstration of American consciousness. Absolutely.
So if you were to fix this, Iyanla, because that's your job, that's what you do, where do we start? How do we fix this?
He's got to be willing. Well, how do we fix it?
Yeah, because it's not about him. He's 70 plus years old.
That's right.
He is what he is. He's going to be that way probably till his eyes shut, until maybe something catastrophic happens, God forbid. I don't think he's going to change. All right.
Okay. He doesn't have to change. But I would really want to encourage those people who are serious about self-actualization, self-realization, self-awareness, self-knowledge, self-respect, self-love, self-support, to look at him. And everything you say about him, everything you think about him, ask yourself, how do I do that? Where do I do that? When do I do that? See, I can look at him now and call a thing because I'm not like that anymore. I've healed myself of that, of being in denial of the truth, of making up stories. The distinction is, see, and this is what's so beautiful about it to me and so purposeful, is that what he says and does and how he says it and does it is impacting millions and millions of people because he's important in this scheme of things. But we as individuals don't understand that our little bad behavior and our shenanigans and our lack of integrity and lack of character, it may not impact millions and millions, but the ones that are impacted in our sphere, it has the same impact. You understand? That's what he's doing to millions, you do to the 50 in your world, and they are just as important.
We are, both navel-gazing as a society. I'm like amazed at how self-centered people are at the exact same time, lacking compassion, lacking humanity.
Yes.
I don't know how we got here.
Lacking awareness of themselves. You don't know how we got here?
No, I really don't. I mean, listen, every day I get up with the charge. First of all, how can I be of service? And this is relatively new because I was unconscious for a long time in my life, in 20s and 30s. You live your life because you're trying to get to a place for yourself.
Right.
And then you realize that life is so much better lived when you're serving.
Yes.
And then you get so much more out of it, and it makes you joyful inside to see other people succeed. So I could never go back because the genie's out of the bottle. I took that pill in the Matrix.
Yeah.
But I don't know how we got here where this man represents us. And I do think, I agree with you, he represents us in a way that some of us may not be comfortable.
What was I watching? I was watching something, and we have been so anesthetized to truth. We've been so desensitized to pain. And we've been so hypnotized to the lust for fame and fortune and money and looking good. And, I tell you, I don't want to be jumping all over the place, but this is so delicious to me. I grew up in a time when young women had to wear girdles because it was considered inappropriate for your behind to jiggle. Now, I'm not talking about the lovely little $78 Spanx that they sell now. I'm talking about some hot rubber that would have sweat running down your legs in mid-August. The thing that you had to wrestle to the floor to get your butt in it just so your butt didn't jiggle. And now we're living in a time where black women are paying somebody to big up their butt. Where did that come from? We've been so hypnotized to the lusts and trinkets, creature comforts of the world, and at the same time being desensitized to pain, and just totally ignorant of the truth of who we are. That's how we got here. And it happened little by little by little. It happened, when we stopped eating dinner together, Karen. and we go to the McDonald's or the corner restaurant, eat out of a styrofoam thing in the back of the car. You know how many children grow up looking at the back of an adult's head? They go to school there. They go to the babysitter there. They come from the babysitter there. They go home. They go through the drive-through, and they get their dinner, and then they go home and sit at the table. They grow up looking at the back of somebody's head. We don't sit at the dinner table anymore. We don't have order anymore. We just don't.
Can we get it back? You know, as I watch your show, because I've been watching it since it's been on, because I followed you since, as I said, since you were writing books about your own pain.
Books.
I know, but you were writing from when you were first on the scene with your books. They were raw. It was so transparent, the things that you endured as a person to come through when you talk about it. And I want to ask you, how did you fix yourself? Because you aren't that person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that took something that I don't know if many people are willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But as I watch your journey, when you interview or you do a show with Evelyn Lozado or whatever the young lady, the light skin Hazel E, through the roof. You know, on YouTube, people tune in. And it goes viral. You do something with Philando Castile's widow, and I'm going to call her because that was his life partner, her life partner.
Right.
With Diamond, so powerful. Yes. Corey Pegues, who's a friend of the show, the cop. You had, Trayvon Martin's mom, who's also a friend of the show, Sabrina Fulton, on, and it was such a powerful moment of healing. Mm-hmm. Nobody's tuning in for that.
Nope.
Something's wrong with us.
Yes, it is.
Because that's an important conversation that many of us, more of us, are going to have that experience, unfortunately, some sort of police encounter than a Hazel E experience.
That's right.
On reality TV.
That's right.
What does that say about us?
You know, that we have been hypnotized, desensitized, anesthetized, we'd rather have our own reality show prostituting our pain and dysfunction for a check than we would to really take care of our business and take care of ourselves and heal ourselves and come together and buy a darn network. We'd rather prostitute our pain and show our thong and fight each other and throw liquor across the table, because that's instant gratification.
So one
that's
would say,
hey,
the ratings say that Atlanta Housewives is #1 housewife show, right?
Yeah,
so we tune in. The Basketball Wives are coming back for a new season because we tune in. We tune in to our own demise. And I always say we give people the bullets to shoot us with.
Yeah.
So how do we stop doing that is the question.
We have to want to, Karen. We have to want to. And it's easier to try to be dysfunctional enough to get your own show than it is to do the work to not be dysfunctional. Because to do the work not to be dysfunctional and to look at yourself, to tell the truth about yourself, to look at where you lie, to look at where you do this crazy man on the Twitter and the what's the other thing that they do?
Yeah, because you don't know. So can I tell the truth about you right now?
Yes.
Because we reconnected. This bugged me out, y'all. All right. So I'm on Twitter. Right. I'm on Twitter. I DM Miss Iyanla Vanzant. 3 years ago. I know the date. It was December 17th, 2014. Right? I would love to have you on the show.
You did.
I did. Would you, if next time you're in town, please let me know. Last week, I was on the air. I get a DM back from Miss Iyanla Vanzant saying, OMG, I'm just seeing this. I would love to come on you. I promise you. Now, what's the date for? So I reached out and I was like, okay, I didn't even mention it. But it tells you something about time and space, and there's never enough, it didn't matter for me how long it took, but I looked at that and I was like, wow. Well, I got an answer though. It may not come when you want it, but it comes on. You understand what I'm saying?
And people always think that I'm on there. I do tweet during the show, and every night I tweet during the week sometimes. But if I have a message, I'll write it down and I send it over to my office, and they'll Facebook the thing for me. I didn't even know what a DM was. I didn't even know where to look. And I had lots of them in there.
So people, if you DM Miss Iyanla Vanzant, don't be in your feelings about it, because I didn't feel any way. I was just so grateful that you responded. I didn't care how long it took.
It was
so that was hilarious to me, by the way.
And I didn't even know it was dated.
didn't know it. 3 years.
I didn't.
I was like, okay with it. All right. Since we last spoke, Kanye West is all over the news, or was, and I don't know that he should be anymore. I want to ignore him, but then he says very irresponsible things like slavery was a choice, and then it just becomes too much to not respond to. How do we handle somebody like him? Have you been watching the what I call a meltdown? I feel like it's a meltdown.
I do. I feel like it's a meltdown. And because, oh gosh, where are the elders in our community? Who could pull him up? I believe that El Haj Malik Shabazz, I believe a Malcolm would have pulled him up. I'm surprised the minister hasn't yet. Surprised he hasn't. But I mean, just in general, who would be the elders in the music community that would say to him, youngin', come here, you understand? Who would that be?
Who would that be?
Frankie Beverly, that you never hear no mess about, no time. Maybe Eddie Levert, maybe.
Yeah, but when you talk about elders, I'm thinking Jay-Z. See, I'm thinking
Jay-Z,
Puffy.
Okay,
I'm thinking
right,
Puffy because they're pushing 50. If we're being honest, right? They're elders.
They're
but
his upline. They are his upline. They are.
Yeah. But I was going to say.
Eddie and them may be too far away. You're right.
And maybe Jay is maturing. This last album showed me something. But maybe Puffy has spent so much time being Peter Pan that he maybe forfeited. No disrespect, he's number one Forbes list. But at what cost? What did you forfeit in that? Are you a responsible person that can be an elder?
Listen to.
Right. Do you, because we all want to chase that image, right? Of no one wants to be wise with gray hair. Nobody. Everyone is in the Botox and they're getting it goes beyond the girdle. Yeah. It's about being. I often say, grandma now is in the club dropping it like.
I know,
why can't
it like
my grandmother have fluffy skin? Miss Julia, I would sit in her lap and rub her cheek because it was a lot of folded skin because she was older.
Yeah.
And she had gray wiry hair and her boobs hung down low because she was older and maybe she needed a better bra. But I love sitting in my grandmother's lap because she was soft and loving and unconditional. That was an elder.
That's right.
Grandma now is in the club.
I know.
50 years old. You don't want to be old, and it's okay, isn't it? Should it?
Well, you know what? I'm not in the club.
Right,
I'm not in the club.
You're fly.
But I take my role as an elder very seriously. I really do. And for me, once I cross 62, that's when I'm moving into wise womanhood. I'm moving into eldership. And I take it seriously. The one thing I've always taken seriously as a black woman is the fact that my grandmother, half Native American, half Blackfoot, she scrubbed and washed people's floors and toilets so me and my brother could eat. So I'm real clear that when I open my mouth, I'm either going to disgrace or honor Rissy Harris, who washed the white man's floor and toilet and made shrimp salad for his dog. So I'm real careful that my mother, who went to work on the Pennsylvania Railroad when she was 13 years old and worked there until she was 32 when she was having me and discovered that she had leukemia and breast cancer. And the Pennsylvania Railroad, because she was a porter, they fired her and she had no health coverage. So in the Black People Hospital in the year I was born, she decided that she wasn't going to surrender her breast to butchering, which it was back then. There was no chemotherapy for black people. And she surrendered her life to breast cancer rather than be butchered and mutilated because she was black. When I open my mouth, I'm speaking for Sahara Elizabeth Jefferson. I'm not going to disgrace my mama. You understand, the way she was disgraced, even my father. So I think about that. But then as an elder, I think about what is my granddaughter. I have 2 great-grandchildren, 10 grands, 2 great-grands. So yeah, I'm fly and I got my heels on. But 90% of the time I'm in African print because I want them to know what that looks like. I ain't never owned a Gucci dress or a Ferragamo, ever. And when I go to the NAACP Image Awards or the Essence Music Festival, some black woman in some city in this country has made my clothes. So that's how I take my eldership. What comes out of my mouth is going to pierce somebody's heart. I need them to look at me the way we looked at Dr. Maya. I need them to look at me the way we hold Alice Walker. I need them to look at me the way we remember and hold Rosa Parks. That to me is an elder. And I can still be fly. And I may still put on my Spanx push-up bra and show you just a little cleavage, but not too much. Because I don't want to hurt your eyeballs.
Thank you. Appreciate your modesty, Miss Iyanla. And I'm going to put the phone number out, 866-801-8255, because I know people want to talk to you. I was selfish the first 20 plus minutes. I wanted to just have a conversation.
But I want to finish this thing about Kanye. You know, where are the elders? Somebody needs to yank him up. Had they yanked up Michael, he'd still be here. Had they yanked up Whitney, she'd still be here. I can go back as far as Phyllis Hyman, Prince. You know, right now we're all in hysteria about Bill Cosby and what he did. That's a sickness. I want to know the people that accommodated him to get it done. I'm calling them on the carpet. The lawyer, the doctor, the wife, the best friend, the bodyguard, whoever participated. That's the level of integrity that we have to come to if we don't want to end up looking like the occupant of the White House.
866-801-8255. So what of slavery? We had a conversation. You have a book out called Get Over It?
Yeah.
Get Over It.
Yeah.
People want us to get over slavery, Miss Iyanla. Just why are we talking about this all the time? Why are we always talking about slavery and racism? Why don't we just get over it? Does that apply to your...
No, that don't apply to my book.
Okay,
no.
all right.
No.
Tell me about what's the difference between your how are we getting over it with you? And juxtapose that to what people are telling us to do.
Well, when I say get over it, I'm giving you a process for reclaiming the power of your mind. That's what I'm giving you. Give every thought over. Observation, validation, examination, and reframe. Give every thought, observation, validation, examination, and reframe. Because too many of us walk around coddling and entertaining and validating wild thoughts, just like Rihanna said. We got wild thoughts.
What you know about Rihanna?
I know about Rihanna, Khalid, all of them. They're my youngins. I got to keep my eye on them. Yeah. So, you know, we don't have the control of our minds. That's why it's looking like it's looking. We don't have control of our minds. We're hypnotized, anesthetized, and desensitized. So get over it. I want us to start thinking about what we think about consciously, and I give you a process to eliminate the things you're thinking about that you don't want to think about no more.
Give us a little taste.
Like somebody, you still mad because Boo Boo left you back in 56.
1956?
1956.
That's a long time to hold on to something. Yeah,
but you know how many of us... oh, Lord.
Come on. We got time.
I have to put it in this context, beloved, because I don't want people to think it's shallow. Your great-great-grandmother, that's great-great. I'm a great. But just in my time, a great-great-grandmother didn't get to choose all the time the man she wanted because she was the masses woman. Just a great. She didn't get to choose who she slept with. She didn't even sometimes get to choose to keep her darn babies. We go to the bar and pick up Boo Boo the fool, bring him home the same night and give him a key and then get upset when he leave. I can't take it. I can't take it. So we got to start thinking different and really understand the sacrifice that we come from, the legacy that we come from. Not feel bad about it, not just be mad about it, but understand where we are. And then, as Dr. Daim Akbar says, elevate the history so that we can use the lessons in our lives today. What are we using from that time? What does it take for a woman to be raped and violated, to have her children stolen, and then still to get up and honor and respect herself? And even if she doesn't know how to do that, to just keep putting one foot in front of the other. We find out that the man we brought home from the bar has a wife, and we're ready to slash her throat and take antidepressants. What the hell? Oh, that's a bad word.
Well, hell is a bad condition.
Okay,
it's a bad place to be.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with the word.
Oh,
all right. That's you? Somebody's calling?
Oh, my Lord.
All right. We're going to use this opportunity to take a break because y'all got to answer her phone.
You told him to get his ID, sir, his driver's license.
So you're reaching for the phone. This is going on. He shoots Philando. Did you think you were going to die?
I absolutely thought I was going to die.
What about your daughter?
Diana was in the back screaming. She was crying, don't kill, don't shoot. She was just yelling so much different things. At the very last bullet, my daughter opened up the back door and ran out.
Go, bro! Go, boy! Get the baby out of here!
There's no way I could take these bitches off.
No, please, no. I don't want you to get shooted. I wish this town was safer.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That's the daughter of Little Diamond, the one that was in the back seat when Philando Castile was brutally murdered in the front seat of his car, while Diamond had the presence of mind to Facebook Live the entire event. And this was on Iyanla Fix My Life, April 28th.
Yes.
Amazing show that
Our
featured.
last show.
Yep. Featured Corey Pegues, who's a former police officer from New York City, as well as Sabrina Fulton, the mother of Trayvon Martin. And this young lady is clearly damaged, and she feels like, just because I watched the episode, that Philando was probably the last man that would fully love her and accept her.
That's
like
what
the
she
first
thought,
person that, and your job was to do what?
Move her off of that. Move her off of that. First of all, to address the trauma. To just the general trauma of seeing the man that you spent the last 2 years of your life with and plan a future with, see him shot in front of you. That right there just blows my mind. And then to be marginalized in the process of it because y'all weren't married. So everything went to his mother and his family. The city wouldn't even talk to her. She had to get a lawyer and take out her own independent lawsuit, and she was in the car. So it was really to deal with the trauma because, Karen, so many of us are traumatized by a variety of things. Life experiences in the home. How many children in the young people in the African American community were sexually violated as children? You saw the show I did with the 5 young men, all of whom who was sexually violated in their home.
Right. And then you have to see these people.
Yeah.
Like, who has to be around their oppressors
Just like
at the
me.
at the cookout?
Just like me.
Just like you.
Just like me.
We're talking with Iyanla Vanzant. You were violated.
As a child, 9 years old. And I talk about that in the tour. I talk about the 3 things it taught me. Because I told my aunt, she questioned my uncle, and he said it wasn't true. So nothing else was ever done.
Right.
So I had to I learned from that experience, because we learn about ourselves through our experiences and how they unfold. So I learned that what other people say about me is more important than what I say about myself. You know, that's a common lesson. It's called people pleasing. We grow up to do that. The other thing that I learned is what happened to me or what happens to me doesn't matter. I lived that for a large majority of my life. That you could dishonor me, disrespect me, invalidate me, diminish me, do all manner of things to me, because in my home as a child, I was taught that what happens to me doesn't matter. But the big one, the crippling one that, took me years to heal was remaining loyal to people who treat me badly. So that is even a outgrowth of slavery. We as people of color have a cellular memory of remaining loyal to people who treat us badly, called the massa. And then when it happens under our own roof with our own people, it's like a double whammy. So I've done that. I stayed in dysfunctional relationships. I had dysfunctional friendships because I was trained at home to sit at the table with the man who raped me, to walk around him, to call him daddy, to taught to respect him and don't badmouth him and don't talk back to him because he paid the mortgage. I was trained to remain loyal to people who treat me badly. But I talked about that at the tour.
You did.
So what changed? What was your Damascus moment?
I've had several because I'm a slow learner. I think my first Damascus moment was recognizing that if I didn't get a voice and get one quick, that I was going to be sold down the river quickly. That was the first
What
one.
happened? What was
It was really in a personal relationship. When someone said that I did something that I did not do, that could have had really legal ramifications. When somebody said that I did something that I absolutely did not do. And I hadn't, the last time I spoke up for myself was when I was a child, and I said that man raped me, and he said no, and it was, so I had to really go for myself. So I had to overcorrect. You go from not having no voice to just being a mouth. So that's what I did. I mean, I just went crazy, taking up for myself. Until, the thing is, when you don't know how to do something and you learn how to do it, you'll overcorrect. So then you have to kind of balance it out. So that was the first thing I had to do, was learn how to speak up for myself, because it was clear that nobody else was going to. That was one Damascus moment. And I think the other Damascus moment for me was probably the second time I attempted to take my life.
Not the first time.
Not the first time. The second time. Because I think the first time was, I don't remember it all, but I think it was mostly teenage drama. I was trying to get attention. But the second time, when I was a mother of 3 children in the midst of postpartum depression, I really did not want to live. And to the degree that I was willing to leave my babies with the crazy people that raised me, I said, oh, wait a minute, hold up. And as I'm losing sight of life in my body, I had an encounter with the only thing I know to be is the divine mother, the Black Virgin. And she said to me, do you want to die? And I said, no, I just don't want to hurt. She said, if you live, the pain will stop. And so they got me to the hospital and pumped my stomach, and I lived. And then my search started then. How do I stop the pain?
That's like that scene in Beloved.
Yes.
Which is what you call people.
Yes.
By the way.
And we dress up our pain. Terry Williams wrote a book,
Black Pain.
It just looks like we're not hurting.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
right.
we dress it up real nice. He probably couldn't, and based on his own thing, which was mostly the case in my life, based on what he was going through, he was probably there but not present.
Not present at all.
Not present.
Not present at all.
Yeah.
Not present at all.
And that doesn't make him a bad person.
Not at all.
And see, one of the reasons we don't heal as Black people is because we won't tell that level of radical truth, because we think we're talking bad about the person as opposed to honoring our own experience. And that's where we got to go.
Well, we've been trained to not honor.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
how do you honor yourself when you don't own yourself?
That's right.
So first we got to get to an ownership of
That's
self,
right.
which many of us don't have. We don't have ownership of ourselves, which is why we're not present. It's a lot easier to just go through life.
Yeah. But I call people on it, just that one principle, ownership, in their speaking, because I hear how people externalize it. Well, how do you know? How do I? And what are you supposed to do? No, what am I supposed to do? Just that little bit, because what happens is we speak in that third party and detach from the emotion and the presence in the during experience. And that's why we can treat each other so badly, because we are neck down dead in our heads, talking and making sense out of nonsense, because we won't allow ourselves to feel the devastation. See, the ego is in the head, so it'll take you any place you want to go. But the heart, once the heart gets involved, you're going to stop. It's going to stop you. You understand? Because that's where the soul is. It's going to stop you. So we live from the chin up, doing manner of crazy-ment.
Is there an exercise, if people are listening right now,
breathing,
to connect?
You gotta breathe.
How does that work?
You gotta go. You know what? If you go to my website, I have a beautiful meditation on there. I have 2. One is the Golden Key Prayer, and the other one is, I tell you what, I have an initiative that I'm doing that I wanted to talk to you about, called Awakening 1 Million. My goal is to awaken 1 million people to the truth and power of their spirit and their mind. So if you email me at I think it's, I don't even know. Help me,
She'll
Lord.
get to you in 3 years. She'll get to you
No.
after you do
No,
it.
my
She may not
staff
answer.
will get you. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to send me an email to Iyanla@Iyanla.com. And in the subject line, please, people, please do this. Otherwise, I won't get it. Iyanla@Iyanla.com, put AOM, Awakening 1 Million, because that way I can email you the link to the meditation.
And what happens once 1 million people? Because we have more than 1 million people. Hey, y'all.
Well,
Hashtag Karen
yeah,
Ruffles,
but what I want us to do is to awaken, and I want them to do spiritual practice, which I'm giving them. I want them to learn how to breathe. I want to teach people conscious and analytical thinking.
Oh, this sounds very woo-woo.
No.
You know, people are uncomfortable. We have been conditioned. You said something profound to me yesterday. We were talking. You said to me, how, when you graduate from high school or whatever, they ask you, what do you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I haven't even decided what to wear for the last 18. I haven't been able to choose my own clothing.
Yes.
How do we then ask kids, what do they want to do when they don't know who they are? And so part of this Awakening 1 Million is so important.
Yeah. But see, the way I've structured it is, I'm not awakening you to nothing. You picking and choosing what you want to awake to in your own life.
Because it's your life.
It's your life. And then all I do is give you the tools in the process. And when you start seeing yourself become more peaceful, when you start seeing yourself really understanding how you do, what you do, and why you do it, the cost of it, the effect of it, the benefit of it, and you tell the truth about it, you're going to start getting clear about how you create and contribute to your own suffering, sorrow, struggle, disappointment, breakdown.
Because it's you.
Yeah, it is you. It's all you. There's nobody in the room but you and God. I don't care what it looks like. That's why I said the occupant in the White House, that's me. That's me.
Camille in New Jersey, you've been holding on to talk with Iyanla Vanzant. Cousin Sil, of course, is in the house. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Hey, Camille.
Hi, how are you?
We
Awesome.
are blessed.
Yes, thank you. And I just want to say, Karen, I appreciate your show. I just started listening to your show maybe two and a half months ago. Like, where have I been, right? But I'm so happy that I found your show because I just enjoy it on my ride home so much.
Thank you.
So, Miss Iyanla, what I wanted to say to you is I appreciate the work that you're doing on your show. It has been such a blessing to me personally. It has helped me, with the work of my therapist. I have to give her a little credit, give her credit too.
Yeah.
But your show has helped me learn an emotional vocabulary that I never had.
Thank you.
That I was never taught. The way you make people repeat what you say, a lot of times when I'm watching your show, I fill in with my own blanks.
Mm-hmm.
And it has just, I don't know, it has really helped me reconcile, to some degree the relationship with my dad who's passed away. So I really can't have that, in person. Reconciliation with him. It's helped me understand the dynamic of my mother's inability to be emotionally present and be able to find a place to forgive her for that. It's helped me work through my divorce and let go, and I'm still letting go, but it's helped me, just find a way to talk about that and be honest and take responsibility for what I didn't do, who I didn't choose right.
Wow.
Because I often see you, flip it back on the woman, and I be mad sometimes.
Y'all, women get upset.
I know.
They get upset.
I know. People say, oh, she's so much easier on
men
men than she is on women, and that's absolutely not true. It's just a different approach. We have not held each other accountable for our bad behavior. And people, just like I told you on the tour, people will accommodate your crazy, tolerate your crazy, and tell you that they love you. And I say, don't let me die. When you see me crazy, when you see me engaged in, self-destructive behavior, pull me up. Don't let me die. But we will do it. And the other thing is, it's a different approach. See, I am a woman. I can step all up in your world. Mm-hmm. You understand? Because we got the same thing. We can rub nipples and belly buttons and all other
I don't know about the
things.
rubbing nipples, though. I think you went too far with that one. I don't know about that.
But when I step up in a man's world, I don't have testicles. I don't have Adam's apple. So I have to take a different approach. And if women watch, if you watch and you pay attention, I'll tell you how to handle a man.
Wait, hold on now. Hold on. So we're gonna talk off mic. 866-801. Camille, do you have any other question for Miss Iyanla?
I didn't have a question. I really just wanted to say thank you. I just wanted to let you know that what you're doing, people who are watching, it makes a difference in our lives to watch what you do with people on television. That was it.
Thank you, beloved. Do you have your copy of Get Over It?
I do not have a copy of that.
Well, you have to get a copy of Get Over It, my love.
We tweeted out a link, too.
Okay, yes, you must get a copy because there are 42 affirmative prayers in there that will help you overcome dominant negative thought patterns.
Awesome.
Affirmative prayers.
You're listening to the Karen Hunter Show, by the way. Iyanla Vanzant is in the house. And, this show is on Urban View, Channel 126. And today's Healing, fresh topic of the day is presented by Fram Fresh Breeze. Protect your family from 98% of dirt, dust, and allergens. Keep the outside outside. I'm going to go back to the phones. Fifi in Dallas, Texas. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. You're on.
Fifi.
Hello, how are you all?
Awesome.
We are blessed. Thank you.
I was just ordering a smoothie. I'm sorry, I had to pull off on the lady. I didn't leave my order, but I just had to pull up a little bit. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Miss Iyanla, I just wanted to say I really, really enjoyed the episode that you had with Hazel E., where you had her read her lyrics to the wall.
The legacy wall.
The legacy wall. That was wonderful to me. And I know a lot of my peers kind of thought it was funny, but I didn't. I was thinking wow, how come somebody hasn't done this before? What I want to know is how can we get something done like that, or maybe the cast of Love and Hip Hop, or the cast of Basketball Wives, or something like that, because
they've got to want it.
I'm 30. Right. You're right.
Hazel E. came to me. The cast, Evelyn Lozada came to me. The cast of Love and Hip Hop has not.
They don't want to be fixed.
But if you also remember, I did Erica and Saigon, and both of them suddenly disappeared from the show.
Because they got fixed, and then they're no longer fodder. They're no longer
you said that I didn't
useful to the plan for our demise. And to speak to the ancestors, to speak to the Harriet Tubmans of the world, to say those horrific things that are like today we're going to unpack Childish Gambino, and then I'm going to juxtapose it to Drake. And I know some of y'all may be upset, but lyrics should matter. What comes out?
Because what comes out of your mouth is being created. Your mouth is a womb. And your ancestors knew that. They didn't call it song and singing. They called it incantation and prayer. That's what they called it. That's what the Native Americans call it. You don't just issue forth sound from your mouth, because those words are energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. Yes. It can be transformed, it can be changed, it can be neutralized. But once the energy is created, it exists. So what comes out of your mouth when you say, I can't, I don't, I'm broke, I'm tired? When you say that, leave me alone. How many single women right now have uttered a million recitations of leave me alone? Well, now your butt is alone. Now what?
I ain't going to let you go. We're going to hijack her for another segment. I just said that. Let's go to Dawn. Dawn's been holding on. And Cincy, you're on with the one and only Iyanla Vanzant.
Hi, ladies. Hi, Karen. I have to say I love your show. I listen to it to be informed. And if I need laughter too. Things are heavy, so I get both. And Iyanla, it's an honor. My husband and I faithfully watch your show. It comes on Saturday nights here in Cincinnati. So
I appreciate that.
We enjoy that time together. We do. My question is, I am having trouble with finding balance. I am kind of sensitive, but the primary caregiver for my mother, and she's been now probably, things have changed past 6 years, and I'm trying to find a balance because, now I'm struggling with, high blood pressure. I have 2 siblings, but everything is on me. I have to make the decisions. I take care of everything, and if anything's gonna be done.
Dawn, we have to go to a hard break. Do you have a question?
Dawn,
do you have a question? We have to go to a hard break.
Yes. So that my question is just how to find the balance to still be a wife, and I have work and still be a caregiver for my mother.
You got an answer?
Not in the
No,
hard
no,
out.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. We're gonna come back when you
Okay.
come back. Stay
Okay.
tuned, Dawn, and thank you for your call. We appreciate you. The number here is 866-801-8255. I don't know why I'm giving out the number. Every line is lit. Iyanla Vanzant is gonna stick around, answer some more questions. I appreciate your time. I really do. Grateful that you're here today. This is like, oh my God, this is I can cross
It's a
one
joy
off.
for me.
It is one for me too. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the hottest show in the galaxy. It's the Karen Hunter Show. We are
love
here.
that.
Yeah, you have to speak it into creation.
That's what I'm saying.
I started this show with no listeners.
I remember.
With people trolling me.
I remember.
All right. And so I had to let them know.
He turned me on to you.
Who?
My son.
Beware?
Yeah.
What's up? We won't
Because
put
he
you all
used
out
to
there.
listen to Joe Madison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. I appreciate him, and he's listening to good stuff because he's feeding his mind, which is important. You are what you eat.
Yes.
Both, what
Mentally,
you eat,
spiritually,
all of that.
emotionally, physically.
Which is what you were talking about. We'll get to Dawn's question, but, what we put in, it's like, everyone wants to be famous.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be seen, but there's a price to that. And,
big price.
And we are responsible for making people successful based on, that's why, to me, I can't have zero tolerance. We had a whole thing talking about R. Kelly on Friday. It's like, do we delete him from our playlist? At what point do we, and then how far does that go?
Well, I don't know if we delete him from our playlist, but we certainly have to let him know that we're not going to accommodate and tolerate his bad behavior. So we don't have to delete what we have, but we don't have to buy no more.
That's
and
where
we don't
I am.
have to show up no more.
That's where
I mean, even if he got to get the spanking. I'm sorry, the pow. He's got to have it. He's got to get the pow, and he's got to know. And we've got to not just not show up. We have to tell him we're not showing up. This is your pow. Okay. Same thing with Kanye. Oh no. My mother worked for the Pennsylvania Railroad from 13 to 32, died at 33. They wouldn't even pay for her to have an aspirin in the hospital because she was a daughter of a sharecropper. You tell me that was a darn choice? You gonna get a pow, Mr. Kanye. I'm a pow you. Watch.
I don't want a Iyanla pow on me. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good all the time. Dawn and Sensi wanted to know. It sounded like triage, right? Where you got to put the mask
on your own self.
Yeah.
And I would also offer you to really do some reflection, examination. My get over, the give every thought, observation, validation, examination, and reframe. Because you've got some anger, hurt, upset, maybe resentment toward the siblings. You got to clean that out because part of that is what's making it hard for you to do what you got to do too. And I know caring, we say, this is the piece I don't understand. We say that caring for an aging parent is hard, but the parent cared for lots of kids,
For your dirty booty with you,
right?
yeah.
And they were younger, yes. But really, what's Dawn?
Dawn.
Are you there, beloved?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So you got to clean that up, my love.
Yeah.
You got to. Because what that also does is it takes energy away from you that you need to give to your mom and that you need to give to yourself. Any level of upset with them, and I don't know what the upset is or what you think they should be doing or they're not doing or whatever, but they're not doing it. So get over that.
And they're not going to do it because you want them to.
Right. They're not going to do it because you want them to. But I've done this case. Have you made room for them to show up the way they can, or have you demanded and required to show up the way you think they should?
I've made room for them. I kind of don't really say a lot anymore at this point, and whatever they do is whatever they do.
But see but that's not true. If you are providing care for your mother, if you're the primary caregiver, you got to ask for what you need. Not whenever they show up. No. What do you need? Make specific requests.
Okay.
And let them know why you need it and how you need it and when you need it. Let them know that you are grateful, but also that you're dependent on them to honor their word. Because just letting them show up whenever they show up, that's creating resentment and upsetting you. Not just to show. Would you let your husband do that? Show up whenever he wanted? No. Or your kids? So why you letting them do it for their mama?
Sibling relationships, though, are weird. So there's a lot of history and preconceived ideas of who people are, and communication is tough because people don't know how to talk to their siblings. It's a lot easier to talk to a husband. That's somebody you chose.
Yeah. But also what happens is with siblings, just like it happens with children and parents, we're still dealing with each other as big sister, little sister, older sister, young, and so we don't mature the relationship into the current roles we have now. My brother was my big brother. And so he continued to hurt me and disappoint me and embarrass me and until I grew up in the relationship. And I had to say, well, wait a minute, hold up. Then you don't get to do that. And if you can't be like this, then we won't be in a relationship. And we weren't for 5 years. And then when he figured I was serious, he called me just like he had been talking to me every day. But sometimes we got to so we got to be willing to let go. Ask for what you want, beloved, and put your oxygen mask off first, even if it's for 15 minutes a day.
Good advice. That's some good advice, Iyanla. All right, let's go to, thank you, Dawn. Frank in Alabama. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. You're on.
Well, thanks, Karen, for taking my phone call, and thank you for your guests. I can realize a lot of things that you're discussing because my wife has been taken advantage of, I feel, the majority of her life. She was born out of wedlock, so her mother was ashamed of her as her child. We just buried her father. She never had the opportunity to even talk to him because her siblings didn't want her to be bothered. She was raped by relatives, and my mother-in-law took the relative side of it. So, to me, because I've been through things in my life with my father and my mother was very strong. My father was, as far as he would say what he'd do, and that was it. What he would do, he wouldn't do. So when I saw stuff that I felt was BS, I knew it was BS. And I stood on my feet, and I got that arrogance about me, like I'm going to go do what I have to do. I'm not going to depend on nobody but the man.
I don't want to cut you off, Frank. We got a lot of people that want to get in. Mr. Iyanla's going to leave soon, so can you, pithy?
But it's honestly, I'm just trying to support her as much as I possibly can because it's devastating.
How long have you
caused a lot of mental anguish, sir?
How long have you been married?
I got married May the 23rd, 2003 at 10:35 in the morning, ma'am. So that's how long I've been married.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Well, I want to acknowledge you. I really want to acknowledge you and to honor you for being, first of all, so in tune with your wife and for having a compassionate place in your heart for her, and just encourage her to continue to do her work. Don't expect less from her or tolerate and accommodate less from her as a woman because you know her history. Call her higher. Can you hear me?
Frank?
Yes, ma'am. Well, she's very challenging, and I don't expect anything less from her.
Okay.
I just wish she realized that a lot of things that occurred she had no control over, and that's what I'm having a hard time to convince her.
Well, get her a copy of Get Over It.
I love it. We tweeted it out, too. I'll retweet it when I get a break so y'all all can get it as well. I'm going to go to Maryland. Louise, thank you for holding your arm with the one and only Iyanla Vanzant.
Yes, I was calling because I had, hi, Mrs. Vanzant and Karen. Something came into my spirit spoke to me and said for me to be afraid of big words, and then anxiety rose up. And I've been going through this fear ever since. And I'm trying to figure out how do I get out of it. When I sleep, that word is constantly going over and over in my head. I go around people, I'm so afraid. Just fear just have almost overtaken my life. And I'm trying to figure out how do I get out of this? What is it that caused this to happen?
Okay, so what came into your spirit? Was it just an instruction? Was it a feeling? Was it a thought?
I don't know. I can't even tell you how it happens. Only thing I know is
but you remember. You remember it.
I remember it.
You remember it said, be afraid of big words.
Yes.
Such as, give me a big word.
I've been around people who spoke them, and I'm like, well, what is it to be afraid of?
Well, what is a big word? Tell me what a big word is.
I really don't know what a big word would be other than I really can't say.
Is understanding a big word?
I'm thinking maybe is that what it is? I don't know.
Is discernment a big word?
Not for me.
Okay. And understanding isn't a big word for you?
No, it isn't.
What about renunciation? Is that a big word for you?
No.
Okay. So that's all you need, baby.
I love it.
You need to understand what needs renunciation.
Listen.
What's so strange is that how it keeps hitting me when I go around people. I mean, it's like my self-esteem has gotten so low.
Yeah, but it's about we run into this. I just went through this last week, right? Because people keep correcting my grammar and everything, and I really don't care because I'm very confident in my intellect. So I'm gonna do a malaprop. I'm gonna split an infinitive. I will mispronounce. I will butcher the grammar. It's not my natural tongue. Some white people taught us this, and I'm doing the best I can.
Right.
But I'm confident. And how do we get people to be confident and love themselves enough so it doesn't matter what people think about you?
Yeah.
How do we get there?
They've got to want it, Karen.
Doesn't everyone want to be confident?
No, they
People don't want to be confident.
No, they
Iyanla Vanzant, they don't want to be confident?
No, because then they have to take responsibility for their choices. And
that was the
rather
word
be a victim.
I thought you were going to ask her for the responsibility word.
Yeah.
Because that's what I heard.
They'd rather be a victim than to take responsibility for creating what it is that they desire, for being held accountable for what they speak and what they think. They'd rather be a victim than to have confidence. Yes. 35 years I've been doing this. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. Even with this woman right here, how is it that you remember the dream? You know what the dream was said to you, and yet you acquiesce your power to a thing in a dream and you don't even know where it came from? You don't even know where it came from. Why would you do that? As opposed to renouncing it and understanding the power of your mind to call a thing that is not as though it were. Denounce it. And every time the fear came up in my spirit, I would say, loose me. No. Mm-hmm. I denounced you in the name of all that is good and holy. I would call up my great-great-great-grandmother who laid in the bottom of a ship. Come forward, Granny, stand in me, and denounce the spirit of fear. That's what I would do. But then I'm a heathen and a sinner, so I guess.
Are you?
That's what they said.
Who say that? Who says that?
I like heathens and sinners. I like complicated people.
Who says that? Before I let you go, and folk, I'm sorry. She's got to leave, and I love you being here, and I don't want to, waste the valuable time that we have. I'm about to tackle something after we do this election cycle, because we have to vote. We have to be.
Hopefully, we'll vote.
We have to vote. We got to hold people accountable. So we have to show up. Mm-hmm. But I want to tackle this thing, religion.
Yeah.
Because I think slavery wasn't a choice, but religion is. And I think a lot of us rely on religion as opposed to relying on the tools that religion has given us to build our lives.
Well, is it that we rely on religion, or is it that we seek connection through the community of church? And then the leaders of the church offer us a brand of religion that promotes and holds in place some principles that don't serve us well. Mm. We like community. We are a we people.
We are.
We love the village and the backyard barbecue and the picnic. We love that. And church is that. It's a gathering. I want to know how many of us go to the church for the gathering and who we need to be holding responsible for the, disenfranchisement of the people through religion. Because religion, I'm an ordained minister. Religion simply seeks to create conformity, uniformity in the way a community of people approach God. That's all religion does. Religion don't have nothing to do with the theology and the doctrine and the dogma that very often is taught. It's just so all Baptists do it the same way. All Episcopalians do it, all Methodists, all Apostolic, all Pentecost. That's what religion is. But what we're talking about is the theology. And the theology doesn't come from the people. It comes from the ministers, from the preachers and the teachers. So that's where the issue is, beloved, not in the religion. Your religion is how you approach God. So, yeah, we need to look at it and make some clear distinctions between teaching and preaching and religion and spirituality and whose responsibility is what in that whole stew of wonderfulness.
Well, I can't wait to get involved with that. I'm going to make it real simple, too, because it's real simple for me, and it makes it really easy. I can't wait to do this, and I want to have you back.
Anytime.
Want to
Don't
definitely
DM me.
I
You
won't
have
DM
my number.
I will not.
No, text me.
But you know what? That was the greatest blessing I've had in a while. It made my whole entire day to know that you were present enough to respond, and it didn't matter.
And tell the truth.
Yeah, and it didn't matter.
No,
it
didn't
really
matter.
absolutely
I was
didn't
like,
matter.
oh my God, I've never seen it.
You are a treasure. You are a gem and definitely an elder.
And you too. It takes one to know one.
Oh, well, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Cousin Sil, thank you.
Thank you.
And I will
thank
listen on Sunday.
I appreciate that.
Next Nation. That's right. Iyanla Vanzant, you get over it, y'all. Y'all just need to get over it. We're going to tweet out. Get your book. We're going to tweet it out. And I might buy one and give it away. I think I'm going to do that.
And you know what? And the other thing is, in terms of relationships, I have a YouTube channel.
Yes,
and
you do.
every Tuesday, I put up our spot, a video about relationships. So a lot of these relationship questions, they go right there and listen to 12 to 15 minutes each one.
And subscribe, because the subscriptions matter.
Right, to the YouTube
I got you.
channel.
I got you. I know you may not. We got each other.
Okay,
we got it. All right.
I help you with your stuff. You help me with mine.
Yes, we will help each other. Iyanla Vanzant, thank you again.